Ms. DeLaune, I'd like to start with you, if that's all right. NCMEC does a great job of highlighting a lot of these problems and the pervasiveness of CSAM through the cyber tip line. It's my understanding that about 32 million reports of CSAM were reported to the cyber tip line last year. And I believe you said in your testimony that of those 32 million reports, only about 6% can be referred to U.S. federal or U.S. local law enforcement here in our country. Is that right?
That is correct, Senator.
So of the 32 million reports that we start with, we're already down to about 3.2 million that can be actionable here, that can be reported to law enforcement here. Would you be comfortable estimating about how many of those 32 million images of CSAM end up being removed from the internet? I think you said in your testimony somewhere that it was maybe 55% of those, so I'm guessing 1.7 million.
We have a lot of numbers. So for 32 million reports that are coming in the door, the reports are coming in from the tech industry mostly, and in addition to public reports. They are reporting users who are using U.S. platforms to transmit child sexual abuse material. Clearly, we have global companies here in the United States. So approximately 90% of the leads that are coming in are going back to other countries where offenders are uploading child sexual abuse material.
Gotcha.
So we're down to a smaller amount of about 3.6 million reports here in the United States that we are able to refer to law enforcement. It goes to the point of there is a lot of disparity and a long line of issues that will impact actionability of a cyber tip line report. There are some basic key things that are necessary and are currently voluntary for tech companies to provide. That would be the images or videos or the content that meets the standard of apparent child pornography. It would be baseline information regarding the geographic location of where law enforcement should be reviewing this lead to determine if an investigation should ensue. Basic information on a user who uploaded the child sexual abuse imagery, and if a victim existed, if they have any information. That's the baseline information that law enforcement needs. We estimate of the reports that we were able to provide to law enforcement last year, 55% of them may have been actionable, meaning they meet all of those criteria, which tells us there's a lot of improvement that can happen at the beginning of the pipeline, that quality information coming in so law enforcement can make proper assessments.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, Mr. Pizzuro, you've done some fantastic work helping kids who are in actual or imminent danger. I know that rescuing kids who are in distress should be a priority. I'm guessing that the removal of the CSAM images from the internet can't take quite as high of a priority as rescuing the kids from imminent danger. Is that the case?
That's true, and one of the things is, from the investigative standpoint, is those proactive cases where we're really targeting those egregious offenders.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Look, bottom line, pornography is very bad. It's especially bad for young people. I think it's bad for everyone, but it subjects young people to significant and somewhat unique harms. It's bad enough that children were abused to make these images in the first place. But every single time these images are viewed or shared, a child's re-traumatized again. It's one of the reasons why last year I introduced a bill called the PROTECT Act. This is a bill that would require any websites hosting pornographic material on a commercial scale to put in place a removal mechanism and remove images at the request of the individual who appears in them. And it also require websites to verify the age of individuals appearing in pornographic material, and also they would have to verify consent. They'd be also penalized for hosting CSAM and any other items that were in there that shouldn't be. And then their victims or their authorized representatives could petition for those images to be removed from the website. And I think that would help with that. Mr. DeLaune, in your testimony, you mentioned that current law needs to be changed. Ms. DeLaune, I'm sorry. That it needs to be changed in order to help CSAM be able to share those images, help people be able to share those images with CSAM and with law enforcement. And I'd be happy to work with you on that to get that done and to incorporate into that into my bill, the Protect Act. One more thing. These things are all important. That's why at the end of last year, I also introduced another bill called the Screen Act. This bill would require that any commercial website posting pornographic images has to verify the age of users on their site and block minors from viewing graphic material. I look forward to working with my colleagues and the witnesses before us today and the organizations they represent to get those bills across the finish line. Finally, I just want to thank you, Ms. Bride, and you, Ms. Lemke, for sharing your stories on difficult, heart-wrenching circumstances. Thank you.